Welcome back, my dear friends. Please make sure to always get yourself entertained because you are in here for the truth. Don't mind them, don't listen to their nonsense because they will always be backstabbers. Because this channel is always known for the truth. All truths here will be reviewed. So please make sure you get yourself entertained because just like I've always said, the truth is always bitter but must be told whether they like it or not. It's not my business. Because the truth is why many people are actually fighting for their freedom, yet many are still using all sorts of deceitful ways to try to bring it down. I get very upset with men like Hopus or the man who keep saying all sorts of foolish things, all sorts of nonsense. This man even had the guts to say that Imo State is not a Biafran land. He had the temerity to give an order that IPOP members seen in Imo State should be arrested and will stay 6 months in prison. He further said that Imo State is his state, and as the executive governor, he said that he has the right to decide who comes and who goes. He is angry over the fact that he is being called a Supreme Court governor. And when you actually hear this, isn't it funny? It's very funny because people will say the first, the second, the third were skipped. They were all skipped, and the fourth was made the governor. And people say, oh, nobody voted for this man, nobody voted for this man. And getting the fourth position, he was made the governor. Isn't it funny? It's very funny, I've never seen in a situation where this happened. I've never seen it. Where the first, the second, the third they were all skipped, and the fourth was made the governor. Just because the Supreme Court acknowledged it and approved it, and people keep calling him all sorts of names like you are a Supreme Court governor, and he has gone back to say that Imo State is not a Biafra land, and anybody seen in it will be arrested and locked up in prison for 6 months. I'll keep saying this: Nigeria is actually messed up. Whether they accept it or not is none of my business, but I must say the truth. They are actually messed up because I don't see a situation how the first, the second, and third position will be skipped, and the fourth person will be made the governor. This has never happened. Or have you heard where such a thing have ever happened? It is only in Nigeria we will keep hearing this nonsense. In an effort to disorganize this agitation, the Nigerian government have begin to resort to deceitful ways. When I mean deceitful ways, they have actually stooped so low. That's why Uchendu Madu said, how can you accuse or blackmail the armless and non-violent members of IPOP that you say that they were engaged in firing spare with the agents of DSS who happen to be the Department of State Security? And as a matter of fact, this led to the combined team of Nigeria to attack in a warlike on their meeting at MNA, and this led to the death of innocent and defenseless citizens of Biafra. He further said that this act was not an act of clash or confrontation, but a systematic plotted act of terrorism hatched and orchestrated by the presidency to inflict or demoralize fear that will succumb and demoralize the surging rise, clamor, and support for Biafra. He further condemned the killings of IPOP members in Enugu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has also warned against this killing of IPOP members. He has warned against arrest of IPOP members. But the funny thing, the Nigerian government will not listen. They will not hear. Instead, they keep on piling up and piling accusations against people that are just fighting for their freedom. I have said this before, and I will say this again. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. Get it right. He is not a terrorist. He's only fighting for the freedom of his people. He's fighting for what his people deserve. His people have been marginalized. He's only fighting for their freedom, and it's not a crime. I will keep saying this. Whether they accept it or not, Biafra will be actualized. And they should pray that they don't just get into further troubles, because the whole world is actually seeing the stupidity of Nigeria, and they're seeing how they're trying to mess up with the innocent people. Furthermore, the governor of Abia State, Governor Ikpeazu, said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the reason why he is not able to develop his state to some level. He claimed that anytime he approaches the presidency for aid, the excuse that is always given is that his state harbors terrorists like Nnamdi Kanu, and the federal government uses this as an excuse. But you know something? It is so sad that despite all these things, their accusation is yielding no fruit. I mean, how can you call someone that is fighting for his right a terrorist, and you use this as an excuse to frustrate a state? You use this as an excuse to frustrate a state. The federal government has mapped that Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorist, and they are using him as an excuse not to give financial aid to these states, and they will say that he's a terrorist. He have produced the terrorist. You see, this is how they see this man. This is actually how they have already looked at him, weighed him, and say that he's a terrorist. The government of Nigeria is so frustrated. When I mean frustrated, they are actually frustrated. Besides, the man that they are calling a terrorist actually have lost his parents, and he's not even in his land. As a matter of fact, he has also refused to accept their bribes. They have given him bribes to stop this agitation, but he has refused. These bribes was actually aimed at stopping this agitation, but he refused because he said that instead of him to betray Biafrans, he would rather die. He would rather die. And as a result of this, due to their frustration, they have offered bribes. There is no way. They are now resorting to deceitful way, and yet it's still not working out for them. And they are in turn now, and they are still fighting, and they are accusing people that they are contesting with the government. You can see the stupidity is really rising. And in order to get Biafra, even those who are part of it, who are meant to be part of it, who are meant to support it, are actually the ones sabotaging it. Those that are meant to support this, they are actually sabotaging it. It's quite a bad and shameful thing. It's very shameful indeed. But just like I'll keep on saying in this channel, I will not saying it. There is always a good news, and the good news is that one day Biafra will be actualized. So you don't need to run away from anybody. You don't need to hide from anybody. You don't need to run away from anybody. Just call evil by its name. And very soon there will be results. And of course, when I mean there will be results, it will always be a bad one, and it will always be a good one, and not a bad one. Please, thank you as you share your comments.